The Comeback Kids of '89, a Channel 2 News special, is brought to you in part by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all that you do, this Bud's for you. By IQ Services from C&P Telephone, a Bell Atlantic company. We're more than just talk. And by your Baltimore area McDonald's family restaurant.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sky Dome in Toronto. Down on the floor, no baseball behind us. They're actually setting up for a concert tomorrow night. Frank Sinatra and Liza Minnelli will take over at the Sky Dome, but it's been the Orioles and Blue Jays this weekend, and what an emotional weekend it's been for the Orioles as they battle the Jays for the pennant right down to the wire, came up a little short, and now we're kind of reflecting on this entire season. We hope you'll stay with us for the next hour as we take a look at the comeback kids of 1989. Those Orioles have really given us a lot of thrills over the course of this season. We'll take a look at some of the hot moments. Keith Mills is standing by at BWI, where the Orioles are expected to arrive within the hour. And a lot of you fantastic fans will be on hand out there, apparently, to say, way to go, Orioles. Thanks for a terrific season. Right now, let's take a look at some of the highlights from game number 162 as the Orioles ended their season with a victory here this afternoon. It was 3-0 Jays in the sixth when Brady Anderson singled the center, but Juan Bell kind of got hung up. Doesn't retouch at second base. A little base running blunder there. The Jays appeal, and Bell is called out. But the O's exploded with 5 in the 8th inning, down 3-2. Then it was tied at 3 when Francisco Melendez, one of many rookies playing today, got a base hit into right. Gonzo and Jefferson scored. It was 5-3 Orioles. Melendez with 3 RBIs. And Tim Hewlett also had a big day. The second of 2 doubles from Hewlett right here to left. Melendez scores, and it was 6-3. More fantastic D, not Cal at short, but Juan Bell robs Glenn Allen Hill, gets the force play at second. Ben McDonald, the top #1 pick, the rookie, got his first major league win today. The Orioles win it 7-5, and after that, the Orioles were shaking hands and congratulating one another on a terrific season. In the clubhouse after the game, I think the Orioles today, more so than yesterday, were able to figure out really what happened. The disappointment of yesterday had subsided a little bit, and I think the Orioles were able to reflect on just what they got accomplished over this entire 1989 season. As we mentioned, the Orioles expected home shortly. They chartered out of Toronto here tonight, and they're expected to arrive at BWI probably within the hour. Our Keith Mills is on hand out there, as are a lot of Oriole fans. Let's check in with Keith right now. Keith?
Okay, Scotty, it's very wet here, obviously. It's wet everywhere. The Orioles plane due in at 7:34. One gentleman who will greet them along with a throng of people out here, wet fans, Mayor Kurt Smoke. Mr. Mayor, it has to make you feel very proud to be a Baltimorean to see this tournament.
Oh, man, this is just tremendous. We have, looks like about 1,000 people standing and everybody in their cars out there. So I know that as soon as the Orioles get here, people will be rushing out from their cars. But it's fantastic. The whole year, I mean, the unity, the spirit that it brings to the city. I mean, I even got my Orioles suspenders on tonight. So, no, this is just great. And it'll be a lot of fun. I'm glad to see the folks from Middle River come out and cheer Davy Johnson.
Even though it's the county, right?
Listen, the spirit of metropolitan cooperation.
Can you ever remember the city? I mean, 83-79, fresh in our minds, but these fans were tremendous.
Well, it's a very special season. I mean, it's one thing when it's kind of expected of you, you know, when you've got all this talent that everybody knows about and they expect you to win, to have a good season. But this one, when nobody expected this, and to have it happen like this is just wonderful.
Listen, go back and dry. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the night. Obviously, Mayor Kurt Smoke happy to be here, as are, as he says, about 1,000 others. And Scotty will come back a little later, hopefully with the team, with some of the heroes of Birdland, as they say.
All right, Keith. I guess you guys need a Sky Dome over your head out there. Sounds like the weather's a little off in Baltimore, but we'll be checking back in with Keith Mills out at BWI as the Orioles come home. Of course, a big celebration also planned tomorrow with Governor Schaefer and Mayor Schmoke on hand to welcome home the Orioles, somewhat similar to '79 when the Orioles lost the World Series and Baltimore turned out and poured out their hearts. I think even more so this year, the fans have fallen in love with this young team, these overachievers who just never would say die and really battle here Friday night and Saturday night right down to the wire. As we said earlier, we're in the clubhouse after the game to talk to several of the Orioles, not only about today's game, but about the season in general. Here's some comments from the Birds on today's game and the '89 season.
My first one, kind of cheap one, but I'll take it. And it's a good way to end the season with a win, and hopefully we can continue this and play well next year.
Well, Greg, I know the game's about wins and losses, but to be named the most valuable player on your team, a lot of valuable players on this team, must be an honor.
Yeah, it is. Big honor. You know, I'd lobby for probably another person on this team, but, you know, people thought I did the job all year long, so no complaints, and I thank them for the honor.
It's a great year. Probably it was more satisfying because there were no expectations of us going into spring training that we were going to be a competitive club. We were all resigned to the fact that, hey, you know, let's get better as the year goes on, and maybe we'll be able to compete in our own division 2 or 3 years down the road.
It's been a very exciting season. It's been an enjoyable season, and just very gratifying for everybody, the players, the fans, the organization, everybody. And I'm just very proud of the ball club.
Frank, proud of the ball club, and I think all Oriole fans and the team proud of their manager, Frank Robinson, who may not be a cinch to be a manager, the manager of the year, but I think he's going to win that award. I asked Frank about returning for next season. He gave it the same old line that the club would have to ask him back. I talked to owner and team president Larry Lucchino. He says that's not a problem. They would love to have Frank Robinson back at the helm next year. I think Frank wants to sit back, take a little time, make his decision. If he doesn't return to managing, of course, he would move to the Oriole front office, but I would have to bet very strong that Frank Robinson would be back to manage the Birds again next season. You know, this is the 11th straight year that Channel 2 has been happy to bring you Orioles baseball, and we haven't had many better years than this one, with excitement from opening day right through the end. And, of course, in the booth, Jim Palmer and Brooks Robinson, two guys who spent over 40 years combined in the Oriole uniform. If it happened to the Orioles, there's a good chance that Jim and Brooks were part of it or certainly witnessed it. But here's what the two Hall of Famers had to say about the '89 Birds.
I think it's been one of the great years of all time when you take into consideration what the Orioles did in '88 and what they accomplished this year. I never would have thunk it.
Jim, was there a point in the year where you thought, yeah, this team is for real, maybe they can contend for the title?
I think early in the year, I think it came to me as a realization as a broadcaster from watching them play, is that they were going to be in every game because of their defense.
Brooks, I think you invented the word defense, but certainly that's been the staple for this turnaround, I guess.
It has been the constant, and it just shows you fundamentally when you do the little things in a ball game, you've got a chance to win every game. And this ball club was fantastic as far as hitting the cutoff men, throwing to the right bases, doing the right things, sacrificing guys along, catching the ball. They did it better than anyone in the American League this year.
What do you think the mix was with this club? Because they've seemed to really flourish and really stick together. I guess winning does that, but it's been a close-knit team from the get-go.
Well, that it has, and I think they realized that the only way they had a chance to win is to be close-knit. That and the minimum salary. When you only make $68,000, you have a team that probably, I think you could characterize as overachievers. And, you know, everybody, you throw around those $2 million figures, there's over 20 people in the Major Leagues making $2 million. Well, the Orioles have one, and that's Cal Ripken, and all the other guys want to get there. So I'll tell you what, there's no greater motivating factor than to have a year where you lead the league in losses, 107 and 88, and then come back being underpaid and trying to overachieve, and that's what the '89's all been about.
I picked this team to finish last. I'm not embarrassed to say that, yeah. But it has been a fantastic year and one I've thoroughly enjoyed. Just being around these guys, it's been a treat.
All right, Jim and Brooks, they enjoyed it like the rest of us, the comeback season of 1989. When we come back, we are going to take you from beginning to end and look at some of the real bright moments in this great year. But right now, let's take a look at a special moment in the Orioles' comeback season of 1989. Scott Garceau back at the Sky Dome in Toronto, where they're preparing it for a concert tomorrow night. Frank Sinatra and Liza Minnelli will be here, but over 3,375,000 fans jam this place to see the Blue Jays and, of course, also to come in here and see the Sky Dome. It's quite a facility. Oriole fans also turned out in record numbers this year, and they had a great team to see. When you get down to voting for a most valuable player on this Oriole squad, it was a difficult choice. But here's the final results. Greg Olson today named the most valuable Oriole for 1989. He becomes the first Oriole rookie ever to win that honor. Olson received a total of 42 points. He got 6 first-place votes. Cal Ripken finished second. Cal had 29 points with 4 first-place votes. Others receiving votes were Mickey Tettleton, who had the terrific first half. Mickey may have been the Oriole MVP if it wasn't for the knee injury. Jeff Ballard, who had a great season, won 18 games. And Craig Worthington and Bob Malacky also got a couple of votes in the Oriole MVP voting. When we talked about looking at some of the high spots in this '89 season, we thought we'd let a couple of guys who were involved in the season tell you about it instead of us. They were in it day in and day out. Frank Robinson, the grizzled veteran who's seen almost everything in baseball, and Greg Olson, who was a rookie, seeing it for the first time. The great moments, of course, started right on opening day.
We're here screaming the whole game, all 11, and it was just amazing. You know, I wish it was like that every night.
It's been written by a certain media person that Clemens was possibly throwing no-hitter against this ball club, and I think that really got us our attention. And it was very important for us to start the season on a positive note and just to go out and set the tone.
Hit deep to right field.
Oh, what a play by Steve Finley.
That set the tone for the defense for the year, just reckless abandon, going after everything they can get a hold of and not afraid to dive anywhere on the field.
The effort Finley put into that catch, number one, I think it just showed the fans and the other players on the ball club that this is the way we're going to play this year.
2-2 count. 1 out. Orioles on second and third. Hit deep to left. Could be over Greenwell's head. It's gone! 3-run home run, Cal Ripken.
The big guy that we're depending on for the year, getting the big hit on opening day and helping us win a ball game.
Hit deep to left center. Balls! The Orioles should win.
Yeah.
And they do as Tettleton scores the 5th run.
At least it's not going to be 0-21. Into center field, and Henderson can't get it in for a base hit. Orsolak will score. The Orioles take the lead 2-1.
But that was a tough situation against an outstanding ball club, and he's going to go through the heart of the lineup in the 9th inning, a 2-1 ball game.
Breaking ball, swung on and missed. 1 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Here comes the hook, and down he goes. And the 2-2 pitch. And the roller. Got him! Called strike 3!
That was probably my biggest moment in baseball right now. You know, I don't think I really realized what I did at the time or a week afterward. It's kind of one of those things, well, yeah, great.
Hey, we're beating the best possible in baseball, and we beat them in a close ball game. And we beat them at their own game with our relief pitcher, not Dennis Eckersley coming in shutting us down, but our relief pitcher, Greg Olson, going in there shutting them down right in the heart of their lineup. And that was, again, just a tremendous game for this ball club.
Guys are having a lot more fun now. You know, people are joking around more. It's a lot more relaxed. There's no pressure on us to win because everybody still expects us to lose.
Popped up to the infield. Whoa. And it dropped.
That was a fun game to watch for an Orioles fan, I guess. You know, I was sitting on the bullpen watching all the errors, and it was just amazing. You know, you don't think that happened at major league level, but everything that could happen went wrong. And I think the first inning summed it up when I think it was Roberto Kelly collided with somebody, and they dropped a fly ball with bases loaded and 2 outs, and everybody's just going on the bases.
Let's continue to put the pressure on. Let's continue to try to build on this lead. Let's continue to go forward. Don't be relaxed, and don't become complacent. Unbelievable weekend.
That was a big weekend. We needed those wins just because everybody was starting to close in. we didn't have a real good week right before the All-Star break, and kind of everybody closed the gap a little bit, and everybody was saying, well, now's the time. They had 3 days off, let them think about it, and we came right back and got 2 big wins.
Struck him out. Hard hit ball deep to left. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a fair ball, and they're going to gripe about it. They're going to gripe about it, but Devereaux has hit one out of here to give them an 11-9 win on a disputed home run.
I'm not real sure in the perspective I had on it, but it was kind of shaky either way.
The first fair ball down into the corner. Ripken around second. Over to dig it out, Venable. Here comes Ripken around third. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it is not in time, and Baltimore wins it.
Again, it just shows that this ball club had a lot of heart and a lot of confidence in their own abilities. The game we had to win. We were a little down, we were a little flat. I call it like a morgue in the dugout with Boston built up a 6-run lead in 6 innings.
6-0, I was saying, well, now we're half a game behind, or even, or whatever we were at the time, and I just remember that we were about to relinquish the lead. They called Kevin in, and you know, there's 2 things you could think, and they're both bad. Something happened in his family, and you know, he had to make a call home, or else he got traded. And we were sitting out there talking about it, and I said, well, I guess I hope he gets traded, because you know, it's terrible if something happened to his family. And you know, it was the best thing possible. They took him in there, and he rallied everybody up.
Milligan hitting it high and deep to right. Evans going back to the wall. It is gone.
I remember seeing him hit it, and I was saying, that, no, that can't go out. That's too storybook, I guess it was. And it made it, and it was incredible. It really was. It just didn't seem like, you know, something like that would happen.
Again, we met the challenge for the first time in the second half of the season, and that was just a tremendous ball game. They carried us for a number of ball games after that. But the Blue Jays come in, took a shot at us, and we held them off. Milwaukee came in, took a shot at us, we held them off. Boston came in, took another shot at us, we held them off. I think that was a period of time that this club grew up. This ball club came of age, I think, in that period of time, and started to really believe that we could win this thing. And I think that was the first time I allowed them to even think about winning this thing, because there was still a lot of games to go.
Fly ball, right field, deep, and it is off the wall. The game is over.
Oh, that hurt me. I saw that, and that hurt me, both the pitch and the play out in right field. But you know, when something like that happens, I was wondering, you know, maybe they're destined to win it, and you know, what's it going to take for us to gain any ground here?
Finally, it was a great feeling, though, the Wednesday night to win a ball game, and Toronto lost to pick up some ground. And now we're in a position now, and they know it also, if we win a ball game and they lose the ball game, then we're tied. And that's where we've been trying to get back to that position ever since we fell out of first place.
2-strike pitch. Drive to center for a base hit. That'll score 2 runs and make it 8-2. As Mickey Pendleton comes through with his 4th RBI of the night.
The main thing is we're in striking distance now. That one ball game can put us in a position to win this thing.
But Friday night, a gut-wrenching 3-2 loss as the Blue Jays hung in there and won another game in extra innings. Then the Jays came back from a 3-1 deficit in the 8th yesterday to clinch the title. The Blue Jays popped the corks. Toronto, the champions in the American League East. But oh, so many great moments for the Orioles, so many magic moments in the comeback season of 1989. We'll have more from the Sky Dome here in Toronto, and we'll check in with Keith Mills at BWI, where the Orioles are expected to arrive home shortly. Well, when you start analyzing the Orioles' comeback season, I think you start with one word, and that word is defense. The Orioles committed an error here today in the final game of the season, but they still set a major league record for the best club fielding percentage in one season. The Orioles only committed 87 errors in the 162-game schedule this season. And 93 games, the Orioles came up without an error. Keith Mills takes a look at that Oriole dynamic defense.
Hit on the ground. Billy Ripken with a dive.
to Ripken, and he's got him.
Wrapped to center field. In comes Devereaux.
Oh, what a play by Steve Finley. There he goes, and he might have hurt himself.
He did hurt himself. But what Steve Finley's catch on opening day also did was send a message to the rest of the American League.
Here's San Diego Stadium. Will be a high ground. This is well.
Young and smart, quick and fast. The Birds spread their wings on defense, then weaved their magic. They ran down virtually everything hit between the lines. Now you see it. Now you don't.
There by Brady Anderson.
When there's a runner in scoring position, let's say 2 outs and the ball's hit real well, first thing pitcher thinks, just that, oh man, that ball's in there, run scored, and then a great catch is made either on the infield or the outfield, and saves a run, and it just brings the whole morale of the team up. It's like, okay, we got out of that one, now let's go to work.
We put speed out in the outfield. We could have one of the fastest outfields in the league. And now fly balls 10 years past for doubles or triples are now outs. Our boys even gone over the wall and taking some home runs away.
When they weren't laying down the leather in the outfield, they were picking it in the infield, turning double plays and sacrificing life and limb for the good of the cause. Around the horn, the defense was airtight.
Around to the left side, running with a dive, a great play, quick throw, and he gets some.
Craig Worthington, now a staple at third, helped make Cal Jr. a better shortstop.
Past years, he's been so conscious of covering that hole where he hasn't set up. He set up maybe too close to third base. And now I'm giving him a little bit more where he could go out and get some more balls and take a lot of chances that he didn't do in the past. And I'm just happy for that I'm picking open that hole and just helping him out. It's just a unit.
3 and 2, 2 outs. Hit into short. No, it's a dive by Ripken from his knees, and he gets him.
Cal Jr. was the leader of that unit. His airless gloves, shotgun arm, and uncanny instincts may win him a well-deserved Gold Glove.
So great defense continues from Cal Ripken and the rest of the Orioles.
Keith Moreland said, for example, with Cal, he was facing Bob Malacky when he was with Detroit, hit a bullet up the middle, and Junior was standing there. And he came over here and he asked him why, and he goes, well, Bobby called for the fastball away. It was 2 strikes on you. I didn't think you were going to pull it. Bobby was throwing the pitch. Junior was running up the middle. He hit a rocket, hit off the side of the mound, and Junior standing in front of him and catches and throws him out.
That's simple, right?
It seems that way when he does it.
As for Bill Ripken, few played second base any better.
Eisenreich hit a bullet, but the diving Billy Ripken got it. Woo, what a play.
Day after day, play after play. His acrobatic D landed him on the nightly highlight reel.
Of all the great plays you've made this year, anyone stick out? I know it's a tough question.
One here on the day game against Oakland, Dave Parker's chopper over the mound stands out really well. I think my all-time favorite, though, is in Cleveland, I guess, off Odeby McDowell. He hit a line drive 1 hop up the middle, and I kind of caught him on an awkward hop and got him to throw him out.
So many great moments.
Get in the gap. Bradley circles it. Yeah, with a big turn, he's going to come to second, and he's out. Great throw, Phil Bradley.
So many great plays.
Grounded sharply and snagged by Worthington. The throw to first, gobbled up by Traber.
The Birds of '89. Great defense, time after time.
I go to Bert, 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 Bert.
That did work, the defense, time and time again. I think more than anything else, when we reflect back on this '89 season, we'll remember how hard this young team played and the defensive plays they made night after night. I don't think Oriole fans ever got as excited to see their team go out in the field as they did this year. And Keith Mills, you witnessed a lot of those plays. Keith out at BWI now, where the Orioles are expected to arrive home shortly. It was terrific, Keith, night after night.
Scotty, night after night, as you said, work, 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 the motto for that defense. The plane going to arrive a little late, 7:50. Speaking of defense, back to Cal Ripken. I think Friday night he may have made one of the finest plays that he's ever made, one of the finest plays any shortstop has ever made. It happened, of course, Friday night against the Blue Jays. Kelly Groover, the batter. Take a look, Jeff Ballard, the pitcher. You will not see shortstop played any better than that. From his knees, he throws him out. Nice scoop from Randy Milligan. Sort of a microcosm of the entire season right there for Cal Jr. from his knees. No shortstop in baseball could have made that play. Cal Jr. did. And it was just one of the many, many great moments from the Orioles defense. As I said, here at the airport, it's still raining. The plane a little bit late now, due in at 7:50. As soon as it comes in, we'll try to grab a player or two. But we'll come back here in a few minutes, and we'll have more from Scott in a few minutes. But first, here's another great moment from the comeback kids of 1989.
Hit the left center field, back goes Saunders to the wall, and he made it! He went over the guys in the bullpen are screaming no, and second base umpire Jim McKean says apparently not.
The umpire. The ball fouls out of his glove here. He's clearly made the catch. There it goes.
The Comeback Kids of '89 is being brought to you in part by Care First. You're secure in our care.
Scott Garceau back at the beautiful Sky Dome in Toronto. The Blue Jays are winging their way west. They're headed out to Oakland for the American League Championship Series. The Orioles, of course, expected to arrive at BWI in just a short time. Orioles won here today, 7-5, as Ben McDonald got his first Major League win. The Orioles finished the season 87-75, 2 games behind the Blue Jays, and quite an improvement over last year's record of 54 wins and 107 losses. And this is the same place where the Orioles lost their 107th game here just a year ago. As for the field down there, they're rolling out the AstroTurf, getting ready for a big concert here tomorrow before they host the American League Championship Series here later in the week. Frank Sinatra and Liza Minnelli will be in the house tomorrow night. As for the Orioles, how bad did they fool the experts? Well, it wasn't even close. Now, the Sporting News did a poll prior to the season. They asked 186 baseball writers how those Orioles would fare. Well, of the 186 writers, 170 picked the Orioles to finish in last place. 11 picked the Orioles for 6th, and the highest anybody saw the Orioles was 5th place. 5 writers picked them for 5th. They didn't poll me, but if they asked me, I would have said last 2. They shocked all of us, and they did it with a terrific effort. The Orioles from top to bottom did their thing as they took care of business with great defense, team hustle, and night after night, just never saying die. It was a team effort, and right now let's go back to BWI where Keith Mills is standing by. Keith? Okay, all right. We'll go back to Keith in just a little bit. Right now, we talked about that team effort for the Orioles. From number 1 to number 88, they all played a part in this comeback season of '89.
Slider hit deep to left center field, has a chance, Yount going back, and it's gone!
He's among those being considered for the league's MVP. In the field, Cal Ripken has been almost flawless.
Hard hit ball off Worthington's glove. Ripken fires and gets him.
Jeff Ballard has been the big winner on the pitching staff. Phil Bradley finally is a winner, and he's played like one all season. And fueled by his own breakfast of champions, Mickey Tettleton has surprised everyone as the team's top home run hitter and all-star catcher. But there's more to this dream team.
The key to our year has been 24 guys. It's been a different guy every night, and that's the reason where we are right now.
And Bob Melvin is just one of 40 Orioles who have contributed to the great comeback season. Whether it was a Jim Traber pinch hit homer to win this game in Anaheim against the Angels on national TV, or Pete Harnish wrapping up a complete game win against Boston, or rookie Craig Worthington beating the Tigers and Jack Morris with another late-inning home run, or Mike Devereaux making yet another great defensive play in the outfield. Everyone has contributed, from Jay Tibbs, whose shoulder injury sidelined him in the middle of the season, to Stan Jefferson, called up to provide some offensive spark as the Orioles chased the pennant in August and September. Veterans like Mark Thurman, called upon in tight situations, came through with the key strikeout. Rookies like Bob Malacky handed starting roles and making the most of them.
What a day for a youngster. Bob Malacky throws a 2-hit shutout.
Boy, that is some performance.
Much of the credit for the success of the young pitching staff has gone to Al Jackson, but the entire coaching staff has been responsible for molding Frank's gang into winners.
For this ball club, we had so many young guys. There have been so many opportunities to share the knowledge that we've gained, you know, all the coaching staff, the years that we spent in professional baseball, you know, the things that we've been able to pick up to share with these guys. And most of these guys have been really eager to learn and try new things. So it has been very rewarding in the fact that we've been able to contribute as instructors.
Struck him out.
While Greg Olson gets the headlines for his super debut season, there's been one unsung hero who set the table. Mark Williamson has been the Orioles' bullpen workhorse and escape artist. He's been thrown into key bases-loaded situations and come out untouched. Once in Kansas City and again in New York, he performed the Houdini act. But another unsung hero stole the show that day.
Orsolak is having himself a day. Out of here for the second time.
Jolton Joe Orsolak's biggest day in baseball was just another highlight in a season chock full of them. Oriole fans have seen Joe do it all. He's made great sliding catches. He's climbed walls to make the out, and he's even gone over them.
Lunging into the little open area, doesn't tumble, comes out without the ball, but with a smile on his face.
Joining Joe on the all-hustle team is Bill Ripken, who's never met a clean shirt he liked. Then there's Rene Gonzalez, who's called Gonzo for obvious reasons. And Brady Anderson, who plays the game in overdrive.
And he tries to bunt. And he's going to beat it out. Hey, great slide.
I'm telling you. September 6th, and the Orioles trail Cleveland by 4. But the fans on 33rd Street are going crazy. It's the debut of Big Ben McDonald. The Orioles' #1 draft pick comes in to face Corey Snyder with the bases loaded. And with his first pitch in the major leagues, the Orioles' prized possession is out of the jam. Not only is the present something to cheer about, the future looks mighty bright.
He wasn't intimidated by the situation or the hitters up there. And, you know, I was very pleased with what I saw. And I was excited to see him in game situations. And he didn't disappoint me.
Coming down the stretch in the pennant chase, Orioles GM Roland Heeman rolled the dice and traded for a right-handed power hitter. Keith Moreland has struggled, but he did have his moments. This pinch hit double helped the Orioles to a 3-1 win over the Brewers, sweeping them out of Baltimore and out of the AL East race. Tim Hewlett was called up in late August, and he immediately chipped in, becoming the Orioles' top hitter over the final month. Another August hero was hometown boy Dave Johnson. The Magic Man from Middle River called up for one start, stayed longer, and recorded his first Major League win August 8th. A complete game win over the Twins.
It's obvious what I had done. I mean, I had come into Baltimore in my hometown and pitched a complete game. I mean, you know, this team needed to have some complete games this year. They haven't had that many, and I wanted to prove that I could do it. And, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Another guy who typified the dream season was rookie Steve Finley. A long shot to make the team in spring training. He got things rolling on opening day and continued throughout the season. Despite 2 stints on the disabled list, Finley kept coming back with the key hit or the big defensive play.
Finley back at the track. A nice running.
Oh, what a
great play.
Jim, that looked like opening day all over again.
And then there was Kevin Hickey, a 33-year-old reclamation project called the Protector. Don Mattingly, Wade Boggs, and George Brett, 3 of the greatest hitters in the game, have faced him a combined 12 times and have come up empty 0 for 12. Add to that his chore as team cheerleader.
It's not an act. I mean, I've always been there. I get pumped up, you know, about getting on the team bus, as they say. I'd be the same way if I was pitching against a Little League team. It's just something that comes with the side. You know, you can't teach it. You know, you're born with it. You know, and it's not an act. It's just something that you feel inside, and that's how I let my emotions out when when I put the uniform on.
Late inning excitement, fantastic fans for Kevin and the 89 Birds. This has been their field of dreams.
It's been a real pleasure to play here, and I'd like to take time out to say that, you know, I played in Chicago for a few years, and I thought the fans were the greatest, you know, in the world. But Baltimore's got to rank up there. They had, you know, the fans have been behind us all year, and they've been, you know, really contributed to our success. And, you know, it's a nice feeling that we can go out there and, you know, win for ourselves, but also win for the city of Baltimore.
We talk about the comeback kids, but they all weren't kids. Guys like Kevin Hickey, Tim Hewlett, veterans who were a part of this club as well. but a lot of great stories like Dave Johnson in the comeback season of '89. Now time for another great moment from this year. Scott Garceau back at the Sky Dome in Toronto. Well, we all heard the jokes last year when the Orioles lost 107 games. When you lose that big, people make fun of you. And it wasn't an easy part to be an Oriole fan, an Oriole player, or a member of an Oriole family. Andy Barth was with the Williamson family, who shared in this comeback season of '89.
And as I say that, they throw him a changeup and he strikes out.
At Memorial Stadium, Mark Williamson is a big deal, bringing in the wins and saves. But at home in Cockeysville, he's just a guy bringing in the trash cans and putting the baby to bed and playing Nintendo. And he likes it that way, thank you, with time for his wife, Lori, and for reflection on what a surprise this season has been.
I shake my head at times and just kind of go, how are we doing it? You just have to, you know, look in the mirror and you go, how are we doing this? I mean, there's no way we should be in the position we're in.
Mark Williamson isn't overly impressed with himself or his baseball success. He remembers being a mediocre shortstop in high school in San Diego and spending time in Reno and Beaumont on the way to the majors. And he and Lori both remember how dismal baseball seemed only a season ago. So they savor this special time.
The atmosphere is fun. Last year, there was the word fun never came up. And this year, it's been enjoyable. And I know for Mark, it's been enjoyable. This is the first time he's been on, with a winning team.
Basically, the old cliche of night and day. It is night and day. You enjoy going to the ballpark. Last year, it was sort of something you just did to get the season over with.
Last year, there was never any crowds. I could leave for the ballpark at 7 and get there on time for the game. And now, there's the traffic getting in and out of the park is hard. That's
life is rough, I tell you.
The only thing the Williamsons find rough is Mark's schedule, which makes him chronically late for dinner.
By the time I get out of there, it may be 12. By the time I get home, it's 12:30.
And then he eats a full meal. He eats a full meal at 12:30, so I'm cooking at 11 o'clock at night. That's not too glamorous.
But it's fun to share it when he comes home?
Oh, yeah. To hear about the game and what's happening. I see it on TV or listen to it in the radio, but to hear it from his perspective. And when he needs to blow off steam a little bit, it's good to be up.
The Williamsons are both native Californians and still spend their winters in San Diego. So they've sent their son Elliot out west to stay with his grandparents and start the school year. That disappoints their summer neighbors, who are often in and out of the Williamsons' townhouse. But Mark and Lori know these are exciting times, unusual times, times to remember.
The point the team has gotten to already has been unbelievable, and the feeling of winning is there, and that's been enough.
I'll look back on it as, a year that we were favored to finish dead last, and we made a lot of believers out of people.
And first, that had to include themselves. I'm Andy Barth.
Tough weekend for Mark here in Toronto, but a terrific season. He was 10-5, appeared in 65 games for the Orioles, 9 saves and a 2.93 ERA. A big year indeed for Mark Williamson as he helped out the Orioles. Keith Mills is at BWI. The Orioles expected to land there shortly. Let's go for an update from Keith.
Scotty, I tell you, still no sign of the Orioles, but another gentleman has arrived. Who will greet them? Our governor, Mr. Schaefer. I guess you can never get too used to this.
No, it's amazing. What isn't amazing? No, whenever the Baltimore fans, we've had this before, almost, and then not quite make it, and then there was one parade some years ago that almost tore the city apart. The players couldn't believe it. It was a spontaneous parade, and the same thing here. We think we won. I mean, we didn't lose. Everybody, we won. And again, there's all sorts of signs. There's a sign, Dave Johnson over there. You're still #1 in Middle River, which I think is great. But the people in Baltimore are so grateful to the Orioles for the season that they had. and it's given us international publicity. For instance, the Premier of Toronto was kidding me at one of the governor's conferences that they were going to win. Of course, I told him he wasn't going to win, but he was a fine man about it. Well, Toronto's a good team.
What goes through your mind when you look out here on a rainy night at the airport and you see this kind of crowd?
One thing, when the Orioles play hard, or any team in Baltimore that plays, they don't have to win all the time, but they've got to play hard. And the great thing about the Oriole team this year, they never knew when to quit. They never quit. They didn't know they were losing. They would win in the 9th inning, and that was just the heart. And I'll tell you this, that when the new stadium is built, the place is going to be absolutely packed continually. So I want to just thank the fans of Baltimore and Maryland, and the whole country was watching this team. The whole country, wherever I went to South Carolina, North Carolina, went down to Florida. They talked about the Orioles. Went up to Delaware, they were Orioles, wherever it was.
They played some memorable baseball, sir. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Governor William Donald Schaefer, one of the, I'd say, 1,000 or so fans here standing in the rain. Still no sign of the Orioles, Scott. They're playing due to touch in about 7:53, which is about 2 minutes from now. So when they arrive, we'll be here. Scotty, back to you in Toronto.
All right, Keith, the Orioles' #1 fan, Governor Schaefer, with the Orioles' #2 fan, Keith Mills, right? But the governor had a good point. Baltimore fans don't need teams that win, but they certainly love teams that play hard, and these 89 Orioles did that in every regard. We'll be back with more from the Sky Dome right after this. Dome in Toronto. The Orioles expected to land in Baltimore in just a few minutes, and we'll try to check in with Keith Mills before we're through here tonight. How about these Orioles? They spent 116 days in first place. They improved by 31.5 games over a year ago. Their biggest lead was 7.5 games. Their biggest deficit was only 3 games. They hung in there from beginning to end. They finished the season with a win here today, and now Jack Dawson tries to answer not why not, but why and how the Orioles turned it around.
The 1988 Orioles were, as you will remember, just awful. They found a way to lose 107 games, and Frank Cush had the word for that team, same word he used to use for his Colts of yesteryear, inept. But then the Brain Trust pulled off a few trades, signed a few free agents, promoted some guys from the minor league system, and took this new-look bunch to spring training back in February. Out of that came the first version of the 89 Orioles, and all the experts checked out the roster and picked them to finish dead last one more time. The roster did look like our favorite rock group, Cal Ripken and the No Names, but you could say 3 things about this reconditioned and sanitized group.
I think they're a young team, and that's why they're so good. They're young, and they have the spirit, and they have the go. They really want to go in the drive, and I think they really want to win.
They're faster, and they pick up quicker. When one of them does something wrong, they pick up on it right now, where before, it took them a little time. They wasn't as quick. They wasn't as fast. You know, being fast is what does it.
That's 2 of the 3 things you could say about the 89 Orioles. They were younger, and they were faster. Nobody we talked to said it out loud, but they were also cheaper. They were also in first place in the American East for over half the season. They were also right in the middle of the closest division race in baseball, right down to the wire. Bit by bit, we learned who these guys were. I'm not sure we ever learned just how they did what they did.
I think it's a lot of heart and teamwork between the players that I think when in the caliber of professional ball, if you have the willing to win a ball game, then you'll do it.
Have a good coach. I think he's great. I think he knows what he's doing. He knows how to keep them going and keep their spirit up.
I don't think they did it. I think the rest of the division did it. I think there wasn't anything particularly strong in the division, and the Orioles had a few good ball players, and a little bit of good pitching came around, and all of a sudden they got confident and made a race out of it.
I think it's because the young fellows are so enthused. And I love Orsolak out there, and when he's out there in right field, I knew we were going to get a home run at least.
And young Tom Hamby's suggestion was short and sweet.
Luck.
There's something to be said for all of those explanations. The Orioles did play in a weak division, but still we wonder how they were one of the 2 teams that took advantage of that. Frank Robinson and his new-look coaching staff deserve credit. Frank's special ability to get the most from young players has been evident around here since his playing days in 1966. And we're not about to underestimate what youthful enthusiasm can accomplish.
All of which leaves only a couple of other possibilities. For one, maybe the power of the one-year contract. A lot of our guys have them, and a guy who's playing for next year's money plays hard. And then, of course, there's divine intervention, maybe. Oh, I know you're snickering at me, but after what we went through in '88, maybe we deserve this. Am I right? It's possible.
As we like to say in Birdland, Jack, why not, right? Jack Dawson, thank you very much. Let's go back to BWI. Orioles apparently have not arrived yet. Some of the fans braving a rather rough night of weather, waiting for their heroes to return back home. And don't forget, there will be a parade downtown tomorrow at 11:30. Weather permitting, we'll have that for you on Channel 2. We'll have all the Oriole arrival for you, Channel 2 tonight at 11. So as we leave Toronto, it's the Blue Jays who wear the crown tonight. But we all know that in every sense of the word, on and off the field, the Orioles comeback kids of '89 are champions. All of us from the Channel 2 sports team have enjoyed sharing their excitement and inspiration with all of you baseball fans this year. And as we get ready for our 12th year of Orioles baseball here on Channel 2, we'd like to remind you it's only 4.5 months till spring training. I'm Scott Garceau from the Sky Dome in Toronto. Good night, everybody.
The Comeback Kids of '89 has been brought to you in part by Anheuser-Busch. We brew our fine quality beers to be enjoyed responsibly. Remember, know when to say when. By IQ Services from C&P Telephone, a Bell Atlantic company. We're more than just talk. And by your Baltimore area McDonald's family restaurant. Orioles, the Comeback Kids of '89 has been a special presentation of Channel 2 News.